Sorry about that. The battery on my computer died, and I didn't get a chance to plug it in before time ran out. So I think this is where we were when I left off just a moment ago, talking about the breakdown of the test, which is worth 130 points. 20 of the 130 does come from work with the law of exponents. 65, or half of the test, 65 points out of 130, comes from simplifying and solving equations. This was the second page in that review packet. And then 45 points comes from solving systems of linear equations. Now within those three groups, the separation is as follows. 15 of the 20 points is on the no calculator permitted portion of the test. 15 of the 20 law of exponent points, that is. And 5 of those points shows up on the calc permitted portion. Okay, got all kinds of distractions going on here. Anyway, 15 of the 20 is a no calculator portion of the test, and 5 out of 20 is calculator permitted. 40 out of the 65 points for the systems of not systems of equations, but solving equations and simplifying expressions. 40 of those come from no calc, 25 come from the calculator permitted portion. And then finally, for systems of equations, 20 come from the no calc and 25 come from the calculator permitted. So you can see the breakdown is a little bit more heavy on the no calculator portion of the test compared to the calculator permitted portion. I don't know if that necessarily means that it's going to take you longer on the no calculator, but there is a larger emphasis on your skills to be completed without a calculator as opposed to those with a calculator. For all of my tests, you do start with the no calculator portion first, and then you move on to the calculator permitted portion. So after you finish the no calc portion of the test, then you get to switch to the calculator permitted portion, and you do not get to switch back and forth between. So that's how that's going to work. Now, the real reason why I wanted to show this breakdown here is to remind you of this numbering system that you might see here. Now, R285 stands for Chapter R, or Review Chapter from our textbook. So R is the chapter, 2 is the section, so section 2, and then 85 is going to be the problem number, and this is saying 85 to 94. So any problem between 85 and 94 in the review chapter, section 2 of our textbook, would be a good practice problem to study while preparing for the law of exponents questions. Similarly, in chapter 12, section 1, number 17 to 31 would be a good type of problem to practice for the systems of equations, as well as these other groups that are indicated here too. Now, since none of you have a paper copy of the textbook, or at least I don't believe any of you do, we have to rely on using MathExcel to access these sections. And that's pretty easy to do. Let me just show you how to do that. Once you open up your browser to MathExcel, you'll sign in. And on the left-hand side, since you have these these 5 options as a student, you're going to take 3 steps to get to the textbook. Step number 1, and you may want to write this down unless you can memorize the process or try it yourself, but step number 1 is to select the study plan. We're not going to go to homework and tests like we normally do. Instead, we're going to go straight to the study plan. From the study plan, part 2, or step 2 that I want you to do is to click on all chapters. And this page here will essentially give you access to all of the questions that came from the textbook and were recreated in MathExcel. Now, for demonstration purposes, the chapter we were looking at just a second ago was the review chapter. So this is part 3. We started with the study guide. We looked at all chapters, and now we're expanding the chapter that contains the questions. And since, again, these questions are coming from section 2, well, then I just want to click on section 2. I'm not going to expand this one. I'm actually going to click on section 2. And again, all of the problems that were written in a textbook and then recreated for MathExcel are included here. For the law of exponent questions, we're looking at problems 85 through 94. And while we don't have every question from 85 to 94, there are quite a number of them to choose from. So we've got 85, 87, 89, 91, and 93. Any one of those would be good to practice for the law of exponents. So here again, every MathExcel question does have this identifier. And so if you are working on a MathExcel assignment and you're having trouble with a particular question, and if the question help tools aren't really giving you much help, what you can do is give me the number, and this computer's a little bit slow to load right now, but give me the number that you see in the top left-hand corner and tell me that that's the type of problem, or that's the problem that you're struggling with. So if this was part of your MathExcel homework and you told me in an email that R289 is one that's giving you trouble, well, I can access that question and then I can record a video response to you for that problem, and we can walk through it, or I can walk through it and add my commentary. But in this study guide, just like all of our homework assignments, we do have the question help options available. So if you need to reference them for additional help, you're welcome to do so. But here again, I'm thinking that you would be accessing this for additional practice. So hopefully you're not learning the content for the first time here. You're just trying additional problems for additional practice. I think that's going to be a good place to stop for this video today. Again, I just wanted to give you the outline here, talk a little bit about the systems of equations. Actually, I'm not really covering that in this video, but I do want you to know that that's going to be on the test next week. Most of you are going to be covering that this week in your online work. But if you want to jump ahead and see some sample MathExcel problems, you can certainly do so with this group here. Next week in class, we'll finalize the split and the style of questions that you'll see on the test. I'll give you a more concrete outline then, and hopefully answer any major concerns or questions that you have before the test on the Friday after. If you have questions on this video, please let me know. Sorry again for all the interruptions that we had, but hopefully what I've shared with you is making some sense. Thanks for watching.